Hey guys, what's up?
Welcome back, guys, to It's Not Daddy, It's Papa. I have to double
Exactly.
check. That's actually correct.
Exactly.
This is what the second episode we got it correct in. Out of
For I would say probably the first.
no, we did it correct that one time, and then you like second guessed me. I was just watching back that episode.
Let's not lie
Um,
to ourselves now.
no, we were just posting it. We're repping Dunkin today. Dunkin.
Well,
Starbucks can't see this because I work for them, but we're repping Dunkin. You think I could get in trouble for that?
no, because you're not. If you were like not merchandising.
If I was selling my soul out to Starbucks,
If you did like what do you call it?
strutting out for them.
Advertising for them, then it would be a problem. But this Dunkin', how do you feel about the Dunkin' versus Starbucks debate?
Well, Starbucks has coffee. Dunkin' is like sweet treats, and I
It's
love
like
it. But
sugar though.
like,
It's not even
it's
real
sugar. It's
coffee.
not. It's like there's so much milk in this. I never like milk in my coffee, but this is a milkshake, not coffee. So
Yeah, yeah, it does kind of taste like a milkshake.
it's actually really funny. Do you remember um that we had this thing in our high school during every year there's like a competition that like it's like a student-led thing, and you each created a show with like you and a bunch of people,
Oh, okay.
and remember
Yeah.
it was called Sing. I think it's something that only occurs in New York City high schools because New York City's weird. But what was it, the final year we did this, I dressed up as one of the role. Did like a reoccurring character that was always on roller skates, and one of the scenes I was a Starbucks mermaid. Do you remember this?
Yes, yeah.
With like a bra and everything. It was great. But yeah, I saw one of the guys that was our advisor for that yesterday while I was working at Starbucks, and he didn't know, I guess, that I was working at Starbucks. And he was like, "Wow, it's crazy how life imitates art." I was like, "Yeah, I guess." I don't know. I just thought
Just,
I
just
found
you,
it
you just look
hilarious.
like you should be working at Starbucks. Here's my thing with Starbucks is whenever
Okay.
I'm not gonna go into specific details.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I go to the register
Mm-hmm.
and see who's working that day, I could already tell whether or not my drink about to be fire.
Okay, I mean, you could say it because it's such a trend on the internet. It's not even like a
If
personal
if the
thing.
person making my drink has dyed hair, it's gonna be if she's looking like Clementine from Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind
Seventh episode we
that I
mentioned in a
mentioned it.
row.
Yeah, I have a obsession with
But
that
you have an
movie. With the new
obsession
movie all the
with
time.
a new movie all the time. That's like the only thing to reference in your like pop
Life,
culture
my pop
for
culture.
like
No, because I
six
have a lot
months.
under my belt of like pop culture and life and things like that, but
You
I
do, but
choose
you
the same five
choose.
things because I believe wholeheartedly, and this is not just about movies, this is
Okay.
anything. Everything can be tied back to everything.
Oh,
So I
absolutely.
find myself answering the same questions with the same answers all day. Like it's like, oh, why did this happen? That's life. That's life. You could choose a
Wasn't that a
movie,
catchphrase?
a thought. What? That's life.
What? There was something that your mom said once.
Oh, my
Do you
mom
remember
says
this?
not once. Her
I know,
catchphrase
but
is
like
"These things do
these
happen,"
things
is
do
what she
happen. That's what
says,
it was.
and these things do
It was
happen,
so
legitimately.
memed. That was so memed. Do you remember
And I
this?
brought that into my life and our little
And these things do
lingo.
happen.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite. I actually Here's another question for you.
Okay.
I don't want to expose our age here, so I don't know how to answer this question. Ask this question. We're legal adults, not yet 21.
Okay.
Almost there, not quite there yet. When I'm 21, I could start looking for a job in my career.
Okay.
I wholeheartedly, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, I'll be happy when blank. You should be happy now,
Mm-hmm.
and you should live your life, as soon as possible.
Okay.
But I'm not one of those. I also do believe in waiting for some things.
Okay.
Um, One of those things for me is tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
You can get them at 18, but I'm gonna be in my career at 21, so I don't have to worry about getting
Okay.
judged in a job field. I already have my job. Um, I'm gonna know more about myself. I'm a completely different. Tattoos will be meaningful to me. They're not just gonna be like, this looks cool. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Who am I gonna be at 20? Well, what's gonna be meaningful to 21-year-old me?
Yeah.
Maybe a little different than myself now. So it's one of those things that I'm just like, I don't know where I got this from. Oh, I was gonna say these things do happen. I want to get a tattoo
Yeah.
on me. Do you believe in waiting for certain things like spaces to live in, things like tattoo, stuff like that? Do you believe in giving it a couple of years? Or are you one of those people that's like live now, do it right now?
I think it's a mix of both because it's like the idea that like you could set yourself up for success in the future by like things now. It's like what you said. It's like you want to go into teaching, and it's like if like will a school hire you if you have these tattoos
They
or whatnot?
will. It's not about that. It's more so the mental thing of just like, I'm gonna do school now in my life, and then when I have that salary, then I could go splurge on tattoos, and then I could go out more often and
Yeah.
spend my nights doing different things. You
Hmm.
know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do get what you mean. I don't know. It's very different because I'm like, I think about what I want to do,
Hmm.
and it sounds like kind of like fucked up, but it's like you're allowed, like, I want to be a stage manager. You're allowed to have, like, in dressing rooms, like, you're allowed to have alcohol and bars and stuff
Right.
in
It's
your
a little
dressing
different.
room.
Also, you're kind of already
Um,
doing what you want to do. You just want to expand
yeah,
it.
I just want to do it on a higher level. Um,
Whereas like my life kind of, not that oh, this is a weird way to phrase it, but not that it's like I'm living, I'm a person,
mhm.
it drastically changes when I get hired as a teacher. Whereas
Yeah,
you're already comfortable with this position. When I'm teaching,
yeah.
my life is going to be very different. It's a completely
No,
different salary than I'm going to be going from retail to teaching.
yeah.
Your life
Well,
changes like that.
yes and no,
Mm.
because it's like one of those things. Like I was just talking to someone about it, and it's so weird. We were just talking about it, and she's in her 70s, and she's been doing stage management for a while. And she was like, "Do you realize that like you doing this, like you're giving up every single holiday that you're ever gonna have because all of your holidays are gonna be working." She's like, "You're giving up most of your nights."
Right.
Um, and I'm like, yeah. And she's like you realize that you got to be ready to commit to that because it's like you're never gonna be home on Christmas. Like,
Wow.
not entirely true, but like, yeah, the busiest times of the year for theater is around the holidays and stuff like that. It's like that's when you have you usually have 8 show weeks. That's when you have like 12 show weeks plus. It's like those are the times of the year. That you're busiest. You work on the weekends. You have off usually on Monday and Tuesday. You're free in the mornings, but all of your nights. I mean, people do stuff after night, but like a lot of your life revolves around like the way it's set up is that you do that. And part of that's cool because then you're um the people that you're meeting are all in that same circle, right? So it's like every Tuesday. No, it's every Thursday night. There's a Broadway bowling in one of the bowling alleys in Midtown, and it's just like a bunch of people from all these different shows go out because that's like the only time that they could go out at like midnight, from like midnight to like 5 a.m.
Right.
because
But there's a community
that's
there
it.
that
But
where
there's
you're all
already a
busy
built-in
together, so it's not
community,
even,
so it's like it's a little bit different. But yeah, I don't know where the point was
No, I
leading
mean it's a
to,
world that
but
you immerse yourself in,
yeah,
which is a little different. Whereas teaching, yes, teachers work hard, would contrary to popular belief. I don't know.
yeah,
I saw this video of Matt Damon arguing with some reporter. The reporter was saying, well, actors have an incentive to work hard because they have to secure their next job, whereas teachers get a yearly, annual, whatever. And he's like, are you trying to say that teachers don't work hard? I thought it was so dumb. Like any profession, you have like a couple bad ones and good ones. Like it's life. But I really respect teachers a lot. Obviously, I want to be one. But I don't know. My thing for teaching is yes, it's hard work and yes, it's dedication. But my goal with the career is
uh-huh,
to supplement my life.
yeah,
It will become the driving force of your life in a lot of ways. But when I watch the way my parents as educators and teachers, um, they've lived lives and they've
yeah,
had family and teaching was the driving force of it. Wasn't their whole lives. You know what I mean? Like
hmm,
when I look at my parents and their lives, yeah, the fact that they're educators and that's a part of what they enjoy
yeah,
and are passionate about teaching and things like that. Yes, that's part of who they are. But I don't think about them as, oh, they spent their whole lives just teaching. Even though they teach every day, I or maybe it's because I see them more else, whatever. But it supplemented their lives.
yeah.
It made it possible.
It's
So
not the
when I think
driving force of their life.
it drives it. it. It's not the essence of their life. It is a driving force, but not the essence.
Okay.
And that's just something I'm looking forward to. It gives you the tools you need. So for me, who I don't know, I'm out of college and I could when I'm out of college, I could teach. That gives me everything that I need to do what I want to do. So in a lot of ways, I'm like, let me just hold off.
Hmm.
It's really only a couple years, and then you make those decisions of like, do I want to do this or do that?
Yeah.
Right now, you just prep, and I'm okay with viewing some things as prologue. It's okay.
Yeah, we talked about this in like before, like in other episodes, but
Hmm.
like there's some things that are like contextual and it kind of sucks, but like it's important, you
Years can
know.
be contextual.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
said that when we were talking about like Les Mis and like the fact that that whole book is like half context
yeah,
to itself, which is weird. Um, but yeah, and I think that's okay. I mean, living in the moment is important, but the issue is that like when you're building a house, right? You can't start with the top floor and then work down because you have no foundation to build on. And
hmm.
I think that like we know a lot of people that like went away to college and think that they're having like the
And
time
look
of their
down on us for
life.
doing the CUNY thing.
Um, but what happens is that you don't have that foundational building block. You got to start from zero at 25 versus now. And it's not that it's bad. Like it's a route that everyone has to it's everything is your own personal hell. Like it's going to be frustrating no matter when. But you just need sometimes you need to go through it now versus later. And I think it makes a lot more sense for us to do it now.
Yeah.
Are you good? You're like,
I'm thinking, yeah, I'm good.
what happened?
No, no, I get it. I agree. Um, no, I was actually doing the math in my head
Hmm.
and judging which year of my life was contextual and which was not, which was what the context was being provided for,
Uh-huh.
and what was the context.
Yeah.
And I'm dead smack in the middle of a contextual year, which is cool. I'm cool with it.
A lot of things are like,
That's life. You know what I mean?
yeah. It's like if you look at the like span of like think about like when you're reading a story, like how
Mhm.
much of of any story, like you know like those plot diagrams,
Yeah.
like how much of it is like rising exposition to a climax.
Well, I just did an essay on plot, and I realized I was focusing so much on Aristotle's Poetics
Yeah.
that I completely forgot plot.
Mm-hmm.
The most obvious thing is rising
Yep.
action,
Rising point,
climax, your
climax.
exposition, blah blah blah. I forgot the whole plot triangle, and I was like, "Fuck, that's that's what a
Yeah.
plot is." I was going on about catharsis and all that nonsense that you helped me with, but um, yeah, I mean, look, I thought about like I was thinking about the first 14 years of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I was hardly a conscious being. I think most like preteens and
Yeah.
they're not really conscious. Like if you can go back and meet your like 8-year-old self and tell him like, "Do I have news for you?"
Yeah. Like
Imagine all of those years are contextual. If you think about it,
yeah.
that's a long time.
The only
The first 14 years
So
of life. That's
I
a
had an
long fucking
argument
year.
with someone at work about this in Starbucks, and let me know what you think about this
Okay.
because this actually kind of annoyed me. But they were like, we were talking about, I don't know how this came up, but the question was like if you knew that like a 14-year-old was able to perform a surgery at like as well as an experienced doctor of like
Mm,
30 years, would you allow the 14-year-old to perform surgery?
no,
Why? They've had the same level of training.
I
They
well,
passed the exams at the same rate of
no, no.
completion.
Let me tell you why.
I know exactly. I
Let
said
me tell you
no.
why.
No, I was gonna preface the fact that
Oh, you
I'm not
agree?
arguing. I think that I would not trust a 14-year-old. I was very adamant on saying that.
It's not about your, so a lot of
Uh-huh.
jobs are not about your experience with the field, but your experience with life. So bingo, right?
Exactly. That was
And like
exactly
for example, where I work
word
in,
for word what I said, bro.
it's true. So when I think about like I work in retail, as I've complained about 100 times, I'm grateful, but I work in retail, and like um, it's just shoes. But I see so many people. It's like the way you're going about this. Yes, it's the same size 7 shoe that we're touching here, but you are so massively immature that somehow. Yes, you know technically how to pass it off to the customer, and you have more training than I do, more experience than I do. You're fucking it up.
Yep.
Like realistically, your 14-year-old doesn't have. You also need a lot of mental
Uh-huh.
wherewithal to get through a surgery. No, you need to. Ugh,
And they
no.
were like, oh, but they perform the same amount. I'm like, well, number one, specifically in the context of surgery, think about it like this way. It's like before you get surgery, you have to go in for like a consultation, especially if it's like a big surgery
Mm,
or whatnot. And it's like there's some things that like medically are one way, but like you have to know like there's just some things that like you as
you have to pass your own
like
judgment over a
you
lot
need
of
to
different
yeah
things.
you
Yeah.
there's a level of like yeah medically this might be fine, but like you know that like this might not be like how are you let's say it's like a um like for like a let's say it was a woman undergoing surgery and it had some like relation to like menopause or something. I don't know. It's like how are you as a 14-year-old gonna understand like even just
Yeah.
like the mental ability to be like hey, this person is clearly having like menopause is a huge thing to someone's life, and it's like oh like anything like that. I don't know, that was
Uh,
just an example that they brought up, and I was like, well, how is a 14-year-old gonna tell you like their views on that? It's like they haven't lived enough life to be able to physically justify like whether you are eligible for the surgery. You might technically be eligible, but it's something. It's like you don't know how things are affected other people. It's such a personal thing, and you need someone who has life experience. That's I
yeah.
would never, ever. And she was like, but they have the same amount of technical knowledge. I was like, even if they had more skill,
No, it's not about technical knowledge. Most things aren't, honestly. It's
I was like,
about
even if they have more skill, even if they're more skilled as a surgeon, I don't care. Like, I was like, even if they're more skilled or whatever, that's not what matters in this case, you know?
right.
Like,
No, I agree. I'm glad we're on the same page with that.
I don't know, it was just a really like frustrating thing. I was like, guys, how do you not like what do you not understand about the fact that like some things are experience and I think that has to do a lot with like context. It's like you need context. What are you doing?
I'm
What are you
tapping the ice
freaking
with the straw.
doing? Why?
So I want to include a segment.
Oh,
It's
okay.
such an obvious thing that I feel like we don't include all the time.
Okay.
How was we haven't recorded in a while, we're
Yes.
backlogged. Your last few months, how were they?
So let's see. When was the last time that we recorded?
Valentine's Day.
No, it was before Valentine's Day. It had to have been before because
It,
we were
it had to
talking.
be early February, and now we're in the
No,
middle
I
of
think it's
March.
actually.
Late
I think it
January.
was late January because full transfer. We went dark for like what 3, 4 weeks.
Yeah, we went off the
We
fucking
went
radar
off the face of the earth because we had to do some readjustments
with
in
our
our if with everything in our life, bro.
bro, yes.
Bro, we've had a crazy like month since we recorded, probably more since we
Well, it was
recorded.
early February. It's almost 2 months now. We're in the middle
It's
of March.
yeah, damn. So it's been a hot minute, and this episode won't come out till end of March, I guess.
Probably early April, but
Yeah,
yeah.
maybe early April. But yeah, we've seen each other, but and we've talked a lot with each other, but yeah, I don't like
We
where do we
haven't.
start? Where do you want me to start? You want to expose you want to expose me and what I did in the last 2 months
What,
of
what,
my life?
what do you want? What are you
I
comfortable
don't care.
sharing?
Go ahead. What do you think? I want to see how you approach this
Well,
because it's really
I need
funny.
a minute before I
Because
go out there.
because I've told some people, but some people don't know, and some people I guess have figured it out, and it's
Well,
like,
you broke up. Not to put this in a like dramatic way, but you broke up with somebody that you spent a lot of time with.
mm-hmm,
So I don't know. That's never easy for either party,
mm-hmm,
and I don't know. That changes your life in so many ways. I think. I don't know if
yeah,
we're the same way in relationships. I don't know, but you did that. You have new job opportunities, I think. I don't even know.
yeah.
He'd be accepting random jobs and putting them on fucking Instagram. Like, yeah, just got hired to own SNL. No big deal. And I'm like, bro, just got elected the 48th president of the
Of the
United
United
States, but it's
States,
all right.
it's all right. Y'all don't gotta know about this.
But let's start
Um,
with that first thing.
okay.
Let's get that.
So I broke up with my girlfriend of what was it, like a year and change? Why are you laughing over this? He just finds it hilarious.
Oh God.
This is getting put up online. It's crazy. Are you good?
I don't find it funny that you broke out. It's just that we're you phrased it like a Logan Paul. Hey guys, get ready with me. I broke up with my girlfriend of 6 so casually, just fucking. Oh my God, I digress.
That was just really funny, your
It was the
reaction
way
to
you
that.
fucking phrased it, but yeah, what's up?
I mean, it's one of those things that like, are you good? Bro cannot get over this.
The way he just like, yes, guy. Hey guys, I broke up.
Hey guys.
Today we're gonna. It's like whatever. What were you saying?
It's one of those things that Fuck, I don't even remember what I was going to say because you're asking to
Not to reference the worst, not to
times.
reference the worst YouTube video of all time,
What?
but it had the same energy as Logan Paul. Like, hey, we're going in the suicide forest today.
Because
It's like, bro, why are you so happy? That's- oh god, no, I don't condone that video. That video is horrible. Nor do I think that was funny. But it's just
I
it was
don't know. I've never seen that video. I'm not gonna lie. I've seen like the
it's
picture.
fucking horrible. These idiots go in the
I
forest.
know who Logan Paul
No,
is.
I know you know who they
Um,
are. I'm just calling them idiots. They go in the forest where a lot of people do commit suicide, and they're just like, "Oh shit, there's a body. There's a body hanging right now," and it's like,
bro,
bro, this is hard. And they actually just like zoom in on it.
wait, actually,
Yeah, the original video had the body, and they might have
is
censored
that
it.
not
Allowed on YouTube,
allowed?
right? It was just such a big
Like we
controversy.
get censored because we say some stupid shit on YouTube, and these motherfuckers put up a whole dead body.
Yeah, it's fucking horrible. But
Next episode, we have a whole dead
that's why I'm
body
laughing
right
because
here.
the energy was just like, hey guys, I broke up with my girlfriend. I'm like, bro. All right. With that
Um,
being said, back to
what was I even trying to say? Oh, this is what I was gonna try to say. Um, it's one of those things where it's are you good?
I'm
I
tweaking
felt
off
like
the
you were.
caffeine. No, I'm good.
Um, it's one of those things where it's so hard to do something like that when you're like neither party is at fault for anything. It's like it would be so much easier if like someone did something explicitly wrong or like cheated on someone, like you've
I've been there.
actually not true.
No, I've been
but
there. I've been
yeah,
there.
but like it was even in that situation it was like difficult to break up with them. But like it's a I feel
Even with the cheating, it's still
even
hard.
with the cheating it was hard to break
It's
up
still
with them.
hard because then you could kind of fault your own self for the cheating. The blame game
Yes.
could be completely nullified regardless, and you could still be sitting there like, oh my god, I don't have anything to be mad at them for. No
Yeah,
matter what they do to you, if you love
I
somebody.
I guess. I don't know. It's like one of those things where it's complicated to come to the realization that like that's something that needs to happen because no one's at fault for anything. But it's like when you have two very different people, it stuff just doesn't work. And I don't have any like hard feelings or anything, and that's kind of why I don't mind it. And I've honestly not had a super hard time adjusting to it. Um, I don't know. Like I haven't had a hard like a lot of people like go under like traumatic like stress after like I'm thinking about like
Me.
not to put you on blast, but I'm thinking about you
No,
and like the way
I'm
you
still processing breakups that I've already gone through like years
like
ago.
and I'm just like and I'm like I don't know why, but like
It's your
it
personality type too.
maybe I don't know. I
My
just
brother just broke up with his girlfriend. He's been chilling.
like I don't like um is it like wear your heart out on your sleeve? Is that the expression?
You don't wear your heart on your sleeve now.
Is
That is
that
the
is that the
expression, and you don't
expression?
do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that might be what it is. Um, which isn't like neither of them is a bad thing. It's just like it's a different thing.
hmm
Yeah, but like I'm trying to add more, but I'm like I don't have really have anything to like.
That's interesting though. The whole point of it is like even in your own discussions
Uh-huh.
about it with me, like
Yeah.
privately, there wasn't much to say. And I feel like you didn't. I was expecting to. I
Mhm.
was ready to support you.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'm like,
My mom said the same thing. It was really funny. She was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "You haven't said anything about
no,
it."
you
Like,
barely. Even the day
because
after, you
I was
came looking all spiffy in your damn new shoes, and I was like, bro, you look great. What the fuck?
it's just one of those things where it's like, well, there's also the mentality of like you could be upset over it and like what is that going to change? Number one, like
Mm,
it's like you already did it, and I don't think that there's any, um, I don't think there's any validity to like going back and like regretting your decision because like it's already happened.
mm.
Like, because the other thing is like, if you are to go back and go to the person and be like, hey, like, I changed my mind, like what the
It's fucked up. It's a
like
little
it's not
selfish.
gonna
Yeah.
work. Number one, it like never works, and it's like if like the universe ends up figuring out how to like bring you two together, like that's gonna happen. It's like one of those things where it's like you kind of just gotta like live with it, you know? And it's like it sucks, but it's like one of those things where it's like, fuck, I guess you have like people go through it and it's like you could choose to destroy your whole life over it, or you could just choose to kind of like let it go and start new. I think it also helped that like what you were talking about is that I started doing a bunch of other things. I started working on a bunch of other projects and things like that. And like when you're busy, you not that you don't have time to think about it, because I think about stuff all the time, no matter what. Like I could be doing something completely different and thinking about it. But it's like the idea of like the second, like you jump into new things and it's like you immerse yourself in those things and you put the emotionality that you were to have behind this experience into those other things, and it works out really great. Like I'm working on a show right now. I'm working on two shows right now, but one of them is like a musical kind of cabaret thing. And there's a lot of songs about love. And it happened last night where we were going through this trio of songs from this musical called The Happy Time, Cabaret, and then something else. And it's three songs about three different stages of love in your life. About like finding the person you want to marry, and then it goes into a song from a different show. And it's just a woman asking like, why didn't this work out? It's honestly one of my favorite songs of all time, maybe this time from Cabaret. And then there's the other song where it's like accepting that like you've lost it and it's fine, and then they meld all into one piece of music, and it's really cool, and it's only in this show because it's a cabaret show, so it's like each song is self-contained. And I don't remember what I said off the top of my head, but I said something about how those trio songs flow into it, because we were trying to figure out like how do you convey this emotionality, because it's three separate singers, and they all merge into one harmony, and it's a really cool effect. But like, how do you bring the emotion into it, because each song is such a different emotion? It's like, how do you meld it all into one? And I said something and I wish I remembered it, but like I was like, oh, that's clearly a channeling of like what I am feeling into this like comment and suggestion to these performers.
Mm.
It's like stuff like that. I mean, like it's different for everyone, I guess, but yeah, you should come see that show. It's just a bunch of people singing, but
Yeah,
you
I'll
should come
come.
see it. The
Um,
seating chart for it is wild because we're doing it
hold
in a
on,
bar.
pause,
I'm like,
pause. We're going back.
uh-huh.
That's I don't know. I found that to be touching. I don't know why. I'm looking for the words or the thoughts, but I don't know. And it's like I draw a parallel to you and
Hmm.
my brother because
Yeah.
like two of some of the closest people in my life, and uh, very similar. Not similar people, but I don't know. I feel like the way I've grown as a person,
Hmm.
which has changed my dynamics with both of you, as you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You
Absolutely.
meet people closer in different ways as you get
Yeah.
older. Whereas for example, with my brother, we've taken turns a lot. He's my older brother, but I've had a lot of times lately where I could say I take care of him.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Whereas when you're young,
Yeah.
he takes care of you. When I met you,
Yeah.
I was in a relationship thingy that was on its way out. I was at the peak of the confidence in my life, which is sad, but it was on some ego high, which is not always a bad thing. Most 16-year-old boys are.
It's not a bad thing.
No, not a bad thing. It's just I was a very typical, 16-year-old
Yeah.
boy. And as you grow away from that, your dynamics with your friends change.
Uh-huh.
But I noticed that like, in a lot of ways, the respect and
Uh-huh.
admiration I have for both you and my brother, you guys do end up very similar in the way you process your emotions, and which ends I have a similar perspective, relation to you guys, where it's like I'm always ready to be like,
Hmm.
okay, this is gonna hurt. Are you ready? And you guys are like, no, I'm fine.
You see, I
And it's
wonder,
really
it's actually
interesting.
really interesting
It's an
because
older sibling thing, but
that was
yes.
literally exactly what I was
Hmm.
gonna say. I was like the trait that me and your brother have in common,
Is
because
that
it's
older
there's not
sibling?
many actually. I don't know,
There
maybe.
are.
Do you think
Well, I
so?
know you both better than you know each other. There,
Yeah, do you think so?
yeah.
The trait that's most apparent, I
Mm,
think, is that older sibling trait.
yes.
Um,
Not being able to let anybody
what
do
is
anything.
happening outside? I don't know. There's like a
Fucking war,
person that's
bro.
like,
Motorcade. JFK's assassination is happening.
that's what happens every time I send you a voice memo.
I
It's
can
so
never
funny.
understand.
You can never
But you
understand.
guys have in common the way you process your emotions, the way it's just like, let's get this shit done, let's do it. But no, he hurt for a while. He was very hurt after his relationship with ended. And then he didn't even know how to end it, and then he ended it. Very hurt. And then he got like norovirus, and he's been dead for like 3 days. Like so knocked out. So I don't even know how he is, but I could feel
Uh-huh.
it. And he finally woke up. He's been in like a 48-hour coma from norovirus. He was like laughing at Instagram reels on his phone. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, there you are. Like you're better again. Whereas me with my breakups, it's taken me, I don't know, I do things in a very very long, lengthy way
Hmm.
where it takes me years to get over things and then I get over them and I incorporate it into my
Yeah.
daily living, which I'm cool with. A big part of me is holding on to things. I don't mind it. My goal is not to get over people, it's to learn as much as I can from them.
Which isn't bad. It's not bad at
I don't
all.
mind being stuck on. I really don't mind. And it's just like I was walking this morning and I got hit with a wave of like, oh my God, I didn't process something that happened to me years ago. I never processed it. And now I have to do that. And I was like,
Hmm.
shit. Whereas like people like you and my brother don't. And I was also talking to my mom about it. I was like, how do some people do that? And she's like, is it that they do it? Or is it a survival thing that you've just learned? Like life goes on and I don't have time for this.
I think it's a mix of both, but I think it's like some things it's like there's some things that you process, especially like in a relationship, like as it's happening. It's like you don't even have to look back
Hmm.
on it because you processed it in the moment. Because I do a lot of thinking of things in the moment and then don't look back at them because when I look back at them, my thinking is that you're always looking back at something in a different light. You're always looking back with the knowledge that you have in the future versus knowledge you had in the present. So you're always going to judge yourself for mistakes you made in the past. And I do that all the time. I look back on conversations and I'm like, I could have handled this differently, blah, blah. But the issue with that is that you have more knowledge than you do at the moment that you made that decision. So why are you able, like, why are you giving yourself the ability to beat yourself up over something when you don't have the same tools as you did back then? It's like, imagine that you were asked in like the Stone Age to build like a hammer out of steel, and then you build a hammer out of steel now.
Right.
One of them is a lot easier to
It's
do,
very different. Yeah.
and it's very different. And you're going to beat yourself up for not being able to do it that first time. But it's not because you couldn't do it. It's
Hmm.
because you didn't have the right tools to do it. You could have all the knowledge to how to handle it, but there's some things that you don't have.
I
Um,
really like your use of the word tool. I really do.
you know?
Because it really is about the tools that you have. I said to somebody 10 months ago, 11 months
Hmm.
ago, like, in the name of letting things go,
Yeah.
you cannot get mad at yourself or for me or for us or for our younger selves or whoever you want to blame for not being able to build
Yeah.
the same structure that you want now with the toolbox that we had then.
Yeah.
So just like you have to look at it and think about yourself from a child to now. Yeah, you have your support system and people have family and friends
Hmm.
and things. A lot of stuff is done on your own though.
Oh,
A lot of
absolutely.
growing is done on your own. And I look back at so many different things that I've done in my life and I'm like, you know what? Yes, I had support, but really no one was there to help me. And I look at a lot of my old relationships, even if I was surrounded with friends and family, I'm like,
Hmm.
I look at myself in whichever person, whichever relationship I
Uh-huh.
want to reference. I'm like, nobody really could have helped us. We didn't know. We
You
didn't know any better, and that's it. It's fine. You could just let it go and just process it the way that you need to process it. And if you're the type of person where you look at it, process it in the moment, and then just let it go, that's okay too. You don't need to spend
Yeah.
years on it. I just
Because think about it. When you, um, at, like every skill that you have or whatever is a tool to you, right? And you open up this like metaphysical toolbox that you have of like
Mhm.
skills and whatnot. It's like you have your basic ones of like take a deep breath and let go and stuff like that you learn very early on. But there's some tools that some people have and some people don't. And then there's some tools that are acquired throughout time. There's some tools that are acquired with the people that you meet. I feel like a lot of it is like I feel like I was when I felt at when I maybe was having subconsciously was having these feelings of like I need to leave this relationship. I was surrounded by a
Can I ask you
um
a question about that?
what?
When did you feel that
I
way?
don't
If you
know.
don't mind.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. But
Hmm.
in the three from we broke up in February. From November through the end of January, beginning of February, right, I had this really great support system of this show that I was working on with, I mean, like you've met the director of that show, Ashley,
Ashley, yeah.
and not on purpose, but like I feel like gave a lot of tools accidentally of like how to deal with things without knowing it because I don't think like she obviously doesn't intentionally like you don't intentionally know stuff like that. Like I don't think I really shared all too much about things like that with that group of people at all, just because like it was in the context of working on something else. But it's like I saw the way that like she dealt with like her relationships and stuff, and the strategies and tools that she uses, because like she's best friends with her like ex-girlfriend of like, and I'm like, that's crazy,
Hmm.
and things like that. And it's like this person had a lot of tools and stuff and like knowledge that was maybe passed on consciously, subconsciously to me. And
Right.
it's like that stuff definitely, like, I could look back on it now and be like, wait, all of these things, like, even in like talking to my ex-girlfriend while breaking up, I was like, wait, I'm using similar language as to like what I feel like would have been said in this conversation if she was doing this conversation.
Right.
It's
You learn
really
from people
weird.
how to leave. You're like
Um,
intellectual.
so you learn from people around you and stuff like that. And it's like just different tools in your toolbox. And it's like, I don't know, maybe it was something that like it's so hard to identify like what is the catalyst for change. Like looking back, it's like even do you remember in school, oh, what was it, World War II? That fuck ass acronym that we had that was like, what was the cause of World War? It was World War One.
Oh, and it's
Like
very hard to label one cause, but
yeah,
it
and
would
there's
be
like
like when they shot
six. It was like
Autobahn.
allies, or so like some
Yeah.
some fucking thing, and it was like each letter was a different thing, and it's like, and the question's always like, what was the catalyst? And it's like this fuck ass acronym, and
And they
it's like,
usually paint it out to like Autobahn, whatever his
yeah.
name, the assassination of that guy, and
But then they were like, oh, alliances,
but it's
and
like there's so
then
many things that go into it.
nationalism, militarization. It's like not one catalyst,
Hmm.
And I think that's the thing with most things. I don't know why I brought that one up, but that was like a very quick
Right.
example I could think
No, it
of.
makes sense, and I remember both of my brothers' previous relationship that unfortunately didn't work out, and my something that my relationship in my life
Hmm.
that touched me the most out of all of them. Both of those have in common the fact that they ended abruptly in quotes. And
But did they end abruptly?
no, that's the thing. And I was asked the question, well, but
Hmm.
why? This is one thing. This is one, moment that you're gonna regret like forever. And I'm
Uh-huh.
like, it's not one thing. It's not salvageable. It's like legitimately, if you're digging straight down for a long enough time, and you either well, this is positive, but if you find diamonds,
Yeah.
like Minecraft. It really has not like you've been digging the whole time.
Yeah.
Just because you didn't find anything else that entire time,
Doesn't.
the second you hit upon that diamond or bedrock and come up short or
Yeah.
whatever it is, it's like, you know, what can
And
you do about it? It's just that's it. We found this
yep.
problem and it's been here the whole time. You could dance around it,
Hmm.
and then it is what it is, and it doesn't go
There's also a
as
level of
planned.
like one of the things that I've been exposed to recently is this idea of like how much language influences things. It's like um when we're talking about things, it's like how do you word them in such a way to describe the, it's like you could describe so many things in so many ways, right? Like you could say like to like you could I don't know. I was trying to use the bottle as an example,
You
but
just called it a bottle.
um
It's not a bottle. It's
exactly.
a cup, right? So,
Exactly.
and you know
But
what
the
I mean?
connotation of each word is different. And you
Yeah,
just said like unfortunately things ended, but it's like you could also word in the way that like
it's fortunate.
fortunately
Things
it
ended.
ended because both people can now find someone that is better for them. You
That's
know?
another thing with these really. So I
Like that's what
want to
I
say,
actually
what's
said.
commendable about leaving for you, and for my brother, for my younger self who knew how to leave. Um, the bravery it takes to say, I'm going to leave, disregard fear of being alone, because you don't know what's going to come next in your
You
life. You
don't
don't know how many years of whatever you're going to deal with, and you might want that person's ear. Do you know what I mean? Or
yep.
that shoulder to lean on. You might not have it, and that's the biggest problem I've kind of faced with leaving people is I hit like rock bottom months later, and I'm like, I could have used their shoulder, but then I'm like, no, I couldn't have because who knows how much worse it would have been
Yep.
if they were here. Um, but that's the bravery with leaving is it's not always what people think it is after.
Hmm.
You go through a lot sometimes,
Yeah.
and you don't know what the next couple years hold. So that bravery is just really commendable.
It's actually really funny because like for like leading up to like the conversation when we're breaking up, like obviously you have to explain to the fact that like you want to have a conversation with someone. And the question is always like, is this a good conversation or a bad conversation?
Hmm.
And what I said was that like I think it's a good conversation. That's what I like. I flat out
Mm,
said I think it's a good conversation. And it like, and again, it's part of like how you word things. It's
perspective,
like it's
yeah.
your perspective. It's like you could say it's a bad conversation because you're leaving someone that means a lot to you, and that's true. But like the thing is that both of these things are true at the same time. It's like Schrodinger's like fucking. It's like
There's a
both
better
things
example. It's
are
the lily
true.
pads. I can't think of the artist right now, but there's an artist who does lily pads and from
Vincent Van Gogh, no.
no, he's
Monet.
sunflower. Monet. Two things with Monet. Um, from a up close, it's either up close. I'm gonna mix up what you see up close and what you see far away. I don't remember which is which, but up close you could see it. Um, it's either more clear or less clear. I don't remember. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna do it. It's the same
whatever.
analogy. Everything is very blurry, and it's just a mix of colors and brush strokes and
Up
whatever.
close.
Up close, I think, and then
Up
you take a
close. I
step
see what that
back, maybe
means.
50 feet, and you could see these lily pads and all these things that come together. Also, Monet had cataract surgery in 1923, I think, something like that. And he couldn't see colors the same way. He these cataracts that formed on his eye caused him to not be able to see color, so he painted more brightly
Hmm.
and with better colors. And then the surgery changed it again. He went a little blind. Throughout his career, he had such different degrees of eyesight through
Yeah.
different treatments that he was trying and different things like that. He went from dull to color, back to dull, all these jumping arounds of things, and it's part of what made him so great. Because the reason for that impressionist, I think it's called
Yeah.
impressionist artwork that
Impressionist.
he did, a lot of it came from him painting more brightly because of the fact that he could not
See.
see the right way or the
Yeah.
the quote whatever. And I hold a lot of my memories, and it's just like one of those things where I'm like, yes, it sucks. A lot of things suck the way they ended. You know what I mean? For me, the way I look at my run of things, I'm like,
Yeah.
it's a little tragic. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little fucking tragic.
But that's the thing. It's like you're looking at it from a tragic perspective. It's
Mm,
like you could like there's no such thing as like a black or white answer with 99% of things. There are some things that are like black and white. But there's a lot of like spectrum in everything else. And it's like to one person like you could say that like a breakup is negative. And it is. But at the same time, it's also a positive. And it's one of those things where it's like you can embrace either mentality. Not that either mentality is wrong or right, but the outcome when you take either mentality will end up differently. And it's like I took the mentality and I took the approach and I said this to the person. I was like, "Hey, look, it's not a bad thing." I was like there's people that are better for both of us. And that's what I've said to everyone who's asked me about it. I'm like I hold no hard feelings and like nothing bad about the person and it all it has to do is that like it didn't work out and effort like it is in an effort for better for both, you know? Like that's the most you could do to yourself is like always look for better, strive for the best. And it's like when people don't fit that criteria, it's like not that like it means like go out back and like shoot them like old Yeller, but like there's a level of like you want what's best for you in your life. It's a form of survival, but it's also a form of like like one of the questions that we actually had like in looking up like what do we want to talk about today was like what do you need to be your best. That was one of the questions that we want to talk about. And it's like people mindset. It's like your mindset that you could be better always. um and then the people you surround yourself with, your support system. You good?
yeah, yeah. I mean, also, what do you need to be your best? You need to let go of the fear of the unknown, which every time somebody lets somebody go,
Oh, I'm like out of frame completely.
I keep moving
Damn.
myself around this frame in all different ways. My hair is also fucked up today, so if I keep moving, it's because I'm watching it, waiting for it to betray me on
Betray you is
screen.
crazy.
Hair betray me on screen. Um, every time somebody lets somebody go, they come face to face with the fear of the unknown. And I don't know. I realized to be my best, at least, I need to have more faith. And here's a great example. We were walking onto the Staten Island ferry debating on whether or not it had a Dunkin' Donuts, because some of them do and some of them
Oh,
don't. Clearly, it did have a Dunkin' Donuts, but I said it's not going to have a Dunkin', and we were just messing around. It was not that deep until I just thought of it and made it that deep. But he was like, "You have to have some faith. Like, it has a Dunkin'." I'm like, "But we don't know that yet." And he's like, "Yeah, but we could be happy right now and pretend that there's a Dunkin', whether there is or isn't." Every time you let somebody go and go on with the next, like, what I do is I do that thing of like, I don't know what the future looks like,
so it's got
so
to
let
be.
me be fucking miserable right now because I don't know. I can't see anything in front of me that I'm cool with. I'm like, this is. I'm being given nothing to work with by
Yeah.
the universe of the world. The Duncan was like 20 feet away. You know what I mean? Like it was there. Just because you can't see things doesn't mean they're not there. And every time somebody leaves somebody, they have to have a certain amount of faith in the unknown and just believe
Yeah.
that there's something better out there.
Yeah. I think the other thing was just that made it like maybe easier was just that I jumped straight into doing things I really love. Like I went straight into like working on a new show and I went straight into working on another new show. And it's like um that's stuff I love and that's something that I knew was gonna happen. It's like I knew that was gonna happen in my life. So it's like I now like instead
You
of
mapped it out.
like not mapped it out, but like
Yeah.
it corresponded with a really good change of like here's a bunch of like I'm gonna be surrounded by a bunch of new and different people, and I'm gonna be working on something that I love, and it's hard to like have that happen to you, but it's like one of those things where it's like you put things out into the universe and you get some stuff back. It's really funny because um I was going home from a rehearsal the other day with this guy who just quit his job to pursue theater full time. And he's 24. He never gave it like a full try. He was very, very scared. He quit his very cushy job at Enterprise to do this. He put in his 2 weeks. And it's a very, like, it's a scary thing because he was getting paid like a shit ton of money for doing very little work. He was very
Mm.
comfortable and he quit. And he's our music director. So I'm in the car with our director, music director, and me. And we're driving and they're talking about it. And he goes, like, what is something that, like, set a goal for yourself, like, put something out in the universe. And he goes, like, it would be great to have money fall into my lap,
Hmm.
right? Because then I with like if I have financial freedom, I am able to pursue what I want to do without the need to be tied down financially. Like that was my biggest fear of leaving the job was that now I don't have a financial cushion for myself when I go out and pursue these creative projects. The next day he comes into rehearsal. He's like, "You guys won't believe what happened to me. I was cleaning out a car at my job because he put in his 2 weeks, but he's still working. He was like, look what I found. And he pulls out $400 in dollar bills
Wow.
that someone left in the car.
Money
And
fell into his fucking lap, I
and
guess.
and our director turned around and said, "Do you remember what I told you yesterday?" He was like, "No." And he was like, "Money falling into your lap. When you put that out in the universe, stuff happens." And it's like, and he attributed, he's a very like religious person. He was like God. And it's like, it doesn't even have to be God or anything. Like, that doesn't matter.
Well, the thing with that,
Um,
right? Whether you're an atheist or
yeah.
not, everybody. This is why I find religious debate so dumb.
Hmm.
And they're like, "Oh, look at me, your average asshole of a man fixing centuries of religious debate on a
Yeah.
podcast." That's not what I'm going for. But I don't know. I was having a debate with myself on whether or not I believed in God.
Yeah.
And I was thinking back to like 15-year-old me who had like a fucking crystal collection
Hmm.
and believed in like astrology and crystals and whatever. And I've always had so much of a relationship with the universe. So I'm like, oh, the universe heard me. The universe sent me this person. I can feel it. It has a sense of humor. And then eventually, the more I developed a relationship with the universe, I was like, that's hilarious because I said this and then it gave me that. Like,
Yep.
I have an active relationship with the universe, and I'm like, it's so dumb because I know so many like people that look down on more like solid religions like
Yep.
Christianity and stuff like that, but then have the relationship I have with the universe. I, depending on the day, will call it God or call it the universe. It's the same
It's the
fucking
same
thing.
thing.
It's actually the same thing. Whether you believe it's a person or whether you believe it's a spirit, um,
Hmm.
I believe the universe is something with a sense of humor. Then I believe that it's like it has a character. So I'm like, oh, I do. It hit me like a month ago. I'm like, oh, I believe in God. I had no idea that I did, but I've been believing in God. So whenever I see people argue on, oh, it's the universe, it's We need to
It's
meet each other.
something,
It's all the
but
same, as long as you have
it's a different
somebody.
name for the same thing. It's
Hmm.
like how for like send like when you think about it, it's like one of those things where it's like at the same time that people in like Mayan civilizations were looking at these like monsters that they talked about. And then like the Chinese civilizations were talking about dragons and Native Americans were talking about all sorts of things in America. And it's like what really they were just giving different names to dinosaurs. Like that's what it is.
Right.
And like we could prove that. But that's all it was. It was like people gave different names to different things. It's
Yes.
the same
Same
exact thing.
exact. So when I said that everything goes back to the same thing, also goes back to our Dunkin' cup as a bottle or a cup, or good or bad. Literally everything goes back to the
Yep.
same exact point. And I was having a difficult time trying to decide. I was writing something about the moment you look somebody in the eye and
Yep.
realize you're cooked for the first time, or like in love with them, or which means you're cooked essentially.
Yeah.
Being in love with people is, But I was like, you see something when you really care about somebody or deeply love somebody. You see something in their eyes that's not them and it's not you. When the weather is beautiful, you see something outside that's not the sun, it's not the weather, it's not you. You know what I mean? When you have a great
Yep.
conversation or a great night out with friends, you feel something when you get home that's not you and it's not them. So I was looking at, I was trying to think about it. What is this one thing that ties everything together? And I'm like, I hate to say it, whatever you want to call it. Not that
Yep.
this is a religious podcast. It's the universe, or
Hmm.
if you believe in God, it's God. Or it's the positive energy that we as humans have created. Whatever you believe in
Hmm.
is what it is. So that's why belief in something is so important, or even your belief in nothing. If that's strong enough to be a belief, all by all means, that's what it is when you look someone in the eyes. And I know that sounds like a schizophrenic rant, whatever I just said, but I hope it makes sense to at least one person or at
I
least
think
two.
it does. I
There's
get it.
something that I catch in certain moments, and I'm like,
Well, we need to wrap up, but I think that's actually a great point to
he's
wrap
like,
up.
yo, it's time to take your meds.
No, 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 no. Nah, nah.
No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
It's
That's 5 minutes
around
from now.
it's around time to wrap up.
Mhm.
But in the spirit of putting things out into the universe, let's make a prediction on how many views this is gonna get. Let's put something out in the
Oh,
universe.
not views. What do you want for yourself in the next year?
Oh, I was just gonna do about this because I
What
wanted
do you
to.
want for yourself in the next year? We'll get, yes,
What?
watch this, like it up, get us views, but more importantly, what do you want for yourself in the next year?
Let's take like 45 minutes and I'll explain that and I'll
We'll
think
answer
about
that
it and
next
then
time. In the meantime,
like
he wins.
next
Please subscribe to us.
like
Do your thing.
do the thing, blow this up. We're putting this out into the
Share your thoughts,
universe.
please. I like reading the
Yes.
comments
We
when
love
they're
reading the
there.
comments.
Yeah,
We need more comments. We need more discussion. We need more like
life.
jazz it up, talk to us. We respond. We read every single comment, every single thing. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say to these
No, our
fine
camera's
fine
actually
folks?
frozen, which means
Why
bye
is our
bye,
camera?
folks.
I don't think it froze a single time this whole
Oh, it
episode.
did. I was paying attention. I didn't want to cut you off.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
like at least
never
3 times.
realized it paused. But let's give them a bye bye then.
Bye bye. What's up,
Bye
folks? Bye
bye.
bye.
Bye bye.